Wwmbmd, right? What does it stand for? I teased in the Dream Team Coaches group yesterday, a bit of Friday fun, asking you to have a guess at what it meant, because I had in my head to do this video, and it's come out of a lot of things, right? It's in working very closely with a whole bunch of you coaches in the Wealth Marathon. We've been digging deeper and deeper and deeper into not only what to do, right, but the reasons why we don't do it, the hurdles that we stumble on, the things that hold us back, and all of that stuff, right? Because this game of Herbalife is won and lost in the 6 inches between our ears, right, in our mind. If we were just able to do the simple things that are all you need to do in Herbalife, and we was able to do them and do them with consistency and to be confident with it, then every single person could build a business with Herbalife. And building a business with Herbalife can be anything from a little bit of extra money to a real part-time business to a life-changing opportunity, as it has been for myself and so many others. And I woke up with this, actually that's a lie, I did wake up with this a couple of days ago, and over the last couple of days I've been using it myself, right? And it's made a real difference to the decisions that I've made for myself over the last couple of days. And so I thought, as always, it just comes to the point where I have to share it, right? So one of the things that we were always been taught in Herbalife from my sponsor and the leaders that have been around a long time is they had this philosophy of WWMD. And WWMD stood for what would Mark do, right? Mark being Mark Hughes, the founder of Herbalife, because you know what he did in Herbalife was so spectacular as an individual to come up with this idea, to want to help people lose weight safely and naturally, and to create this business opportunity where people could change their lives forever, and for it to be totally inclusive of all ages, all sexes, all nationalities, all colours and creeds. It's amazing what he did. And so and he ran the company, you know, single-handedly for so long, and ran it from a place of with such high ethics and from the heart, and he was mission driven about changing the nutritional habits of the world. And so, you know, many hundreds and hundreds of times over the time I've been in Herbalife, I've heard the leaders talk about, if you're ever not sure what to do, just think to yourself, what would Mark do? WWMD. And to the point now where if I see that written down somewhere in anybody's notes or in my notes, I know it means what would Mark do, right? And I'd encourage for all of us, even if you would never have known Mark Hughes. Most of you, you know, so you understand, he passed away long before you joined Herbalife, but there's whole libraries of video of Mark Hughes talking about Herbalife, and some of those are now 40 years old, and they're as powerful today as they've always been, right? So I'd encourage you to be a student of Mark Hughes. Go and find that stuff on My Herbalife, go and find it on YouTube, and understand the heart that built this company, right? So this, what I'm going to talk about, WWMBMD, right, stems from that, right? And mine is not mine, but it's obviously much more of a mouthful. But now I'm going to explain to you what it means and talk about how I think it can help every single one of us, right? So WWMBMD stands for what would my best me do? What would my best me, what would I do in this situation, right? So let me explain. If right now you are not where you want to be, right? Let's take the easy one. If you're not where you want to be physically, right? Maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to tone up, maybe you want to drop a dress size or a belt size, maybe you're just not completely happy with the physical appearance in the mirror, right? Now, of course, total joy should come from within, regardless of how you are physically, but we all know, right, that how we look and feel physically makes a big difference to probably everything else in our life, right? So if we take that as an example, and you want to get on plan, right? You want to really be tight on your Herbalife nutrition program, you want to make right decisions when it comes to food, and you want to do the exercise that you've been putting off or not finding the time for, and all of those things, the problem we have is in the moment, right? Whenever we're making a decision, we tend to do what we want to do in the moment. We tend to make a decision based on who we are now and our mood, our circumstance, our external circumstances that are happening around us, around convenience. And as we can probably all relate to, when we make a decision based on who we are right now, that decision is often likely to keep us exactly as we are, right? Or even make things a little bit worse, right? If you think about what you're going to have for your next meal, your current you, if you're not where you want to be, maybe carrying a little bit of extra weight, may make the decision that you're going to have a takeaway or something unhealthy or something convenient. And that's the now you making a decision that's going to keep you as the now you, or even make you a little bit worse than the now you, right? Whereas if in that moment, rather than making a decision as yourself, if you asked yourself the question, silently or otherwise, what would my best me do? Now, your best you, right? Let's just paint a vision of your best you for a second, right? And after I've had this little bit of rant, you might want to pause this video and go away and get a piece of paper and describe and write out and really put some structure around your best you, because it's different for everyone, right? But let's have a vision for a second where your best you was at your goal weight, and your best you was wearing exactly the clothes that you wanted to, not the clothes that fitted. And your best you maybe had a bit of a tan, right? Because we all feel a little bit better with a bit of color on our face. And your best you has got loads of energy, and your best you isn't stressed. And your best you is at peace, right? You can probably think back to a time in your life where you were your best you, and everything just seemed that little bit easier. You know, you wasn't tired. You didn't have to worry about, you know, what you was gonna wear. You didn't have to change 3 times before you ended up in what you was gonna wear out, right? And so, if you have that vision of what your best you looks like, feels like, talks like, then that best you made certain decisions to become that person, right? Because your best you exists in potentiality, right? You have the potential to become that person that we've just described, or you go away and describe for yourself. That weight, that size, that feeling, that energy level, that confidence. You have it in you to be that person. But the decisions that you've made recently or over the last period of time have taken you away from that potential, and they've got you where you are. And the decisions that you make today, right, in what you do after you watch this video, your next meal, your next snack, your next decision, whatever it is. I'm talking about you know, weight loss and shape change here, but you can apply this to anything. The next decision you make is either going to move you towards your goal or away from your goal, or keep you stuck exactly where you are. And so every time you've got to make a decision, you've got to make a decision as the you are now or the you want to be. My best me. And so when you go, I'm hungry, right, I could have a shake, or I could have 2 bits of toast and a packet of crisps. Your now you fancies 2 slices of toast and a packet of crisps. Your best you would make a shake. And it's so powerful when you just stop for a second and ask yourself the question, what would my best me do? Your best me would make a shake. When it comes to the business, right? When it comes to what we're doing with the Wealth Marathon, you meet someone, they're bubbly, they look after themselves, they have a great personality, they got a great circle of influence. You know you should talk to them about the Herbalife opportunity. Your current you may be lacking in confidence, maybe worried about what they're going to say, maybe worried about what their opinion. Your current you doesn't say anything, scared, whatever. Your best you, right, the one that is on form, feeling good, looking good, got 5 customers this month already and a new distributor, just got a new promotion, your best you would open your mouth and say, do you know what, you'd be fantastic in my business. Could I take your contact details and send you some information? And so it doesn't matter what you apply this to, right? If you want to get fit or lean, right? Yes, nutrition products are all a big part of that. But at some point, you're going to have to do some working out. You have to go to the gym or dust the dust off the bike, right? I'm talking for myself now because the bike's in the garage. It's a beautiful sunny day. I've got to dust it off. It's got to start coming out, right? Your current you, my current me, maybe wants to sit in the garden and have a glass of wine. My best me would go and get changed and get the bike out. And I got to allow my best me to direct my decisions, because it's sitting there in all its potentiality for me to be the leanest, fittest and healthiest I've ever been. The potentiality is for me to go and find 5 new customers and 2 new distributors and have my best volume month ever and build a community and change their lives, and in doing so change my life. That's the potentiality. But my best me needs to be in control of making my decisions to create that. So for today, or for this week, or this weekend, or for next week, or for the next lap, for those of you that are on the Wealth Marathon, whatever you need to do, wherever you need to write it down to remind yourself, right, on the back of your hand, or a tattoo on your forehead or whatever, Wwmbmd, right, or just write it down. What would my best me do? And allow that to direct your decisions for the next however long. I promise you, you'll make different decisions, you'll make better decisions, and by making better decisions in the moment, guided by what your best you would do, you will create a better, more exciting, more peaceful, more prosperous outcome at the end. I hope that makes sense. What would your best you do?